Hello, and welcome to the Divine Feminine Leaders podcast and videocast. We are a feminine view of entrepreneurship for women by women, and I am your host, Celeste Hartwell. So I want to welcome you in this week. We have another exciting new episode for you where I'm just going to be teaching a little bit about New Year, New You. And the reason that I'm teaching on this is I mentioned in a prior episode how I really believe that any day of the week we can make a difference. We can change our life. It can be a Tuesday in March. It can be a Wednesday in July. It doesn't matter the day. Although I will say a lot of people do feel like January 1, especially this year because it's a new decade coming into 2020, is a really powerful and potent time to make changes in our lives. And part of that is that there is this collective energy of everyone wanting to make a change and everyone wanting to really step into the life that they desire in a more profound way. And it can be really powerful to do that together. And you really get to decide whether you stay in the energy of the collective or whether you continue on and do what it is that you set out to do for the new year. So I really would invite you to, feel into what that would be like. What would it be like to really stick with what you desire and to move to the beat of your own drum? So I'm really excited to dive in here with you. And the first thing that I feel is really, really important, and I'll give you a little caveat to this. So the first thing that I really feel is important with any change that we're looking to do is to get really honest about where you are currently. If you're looking to lose weight, you need to know how much weight how much you weigh. I can't say words. And identify your real goal, right? So write these things down. I feel like I've talked about this a little bit before. There are 3 ways that we create. One is writing, one is visualization, and the other one is speaking. And so writing this down is super powerful. Write down exactly where you are and write down exactly where you want to be. And it needs to be very specific. The other thing that comes back from my many years in corporate, I had basically a 2-decade career, was this acronym of SMART goals, like being a SMART goal, and it's specific, measurable, realistic is in there. I don't necessarily agree with that one, but that's me. I'm forgetting what the A stands for in timely. So timely means specific, right? You know where you are, you know where you want to go. Timely and measurable, it's measurable, right? Like super measurable. Weight, as an example, is super measurable. You jump on a scale, you know where you are. Realistic, we can talk about at a different time. And timely is by what date? What is the date that you want to be at? And I think that's really important. And so again, writing all of these things down is really important. Now, I will say not only knowing where you are is important, but for me, what I've seen is it's also this place of being okay with where you are, accepting it. That's not what the A in SMART stands for, but I feel like once you accept where you are and fully just own it, like, yep, this is how much I weigh. That is what it is. And if you can get into the space of neutrality, one tip that you can do to get there is to breathe into your heart. So we can just do that for a couple seconds, right? Just envision light coming into your heart as you inhale. And then allowing that heart space, that energy just to move throughout your entire body. Because your heart always accepts you. Always. The heart is where your soul is. It always accepts you. Your soul is happy with you no matter what you're doing. Your soul knows that everything is in your highest good. Everything is for your best interest. So that's really powerful. If you can't be okay with exactly where you are, change the subject. Think about something else. Just still write down where you are and where you want to be and by what date, and then stop thinking about it. Just go live your life and do things that really light you up and make you really excited. To me, that is meditating and breathing and all of that. So whatever that is for you, maybe it's, and I want to caveat here again, it's not just about going and zoning out, like with TV or games. Those are my things. Not TV so much, but a little bit more recently. And because that's not making you feel better necessarily, it's just kind of like the status quo of like zoning out. And there's nothing wrong with that, but feel as good as you can. Yeah, absolutely. So that's the first step, right? Knowing where you are, trying to be okay with it. If you can't be, just get off the subject. And moving on to do something that makes you feel productive or good or helping other people. That's a really powerful way to make yourself feel really great, and make them feel great. And then it's like a win-win, right? So that's really fun. The second point that I really wanted to make was knowing where are you right now? And I know that we just talked about this in the sense of goals, but who are you right now is probably a better way of saying it. I worked with a spiritual teacher for a while, and one of the things she used to ask me was, how old are you right now? When I was having a really difficult time, when I was really in a very dark stage of my life at that point, and she would be like, how old are you right now? And I would just know, I'm 5 right now. I'm being 5. I'm acting as though I'm 5. I'm in my 14-year-old self right now, which was kind of where I lived at that moment, 17-year-old self. Who am I right now? How old am I, or who am I being? And I like the who am I being, because in my space, there's kind of this lazy housewife. I'll just call it out. I'll be super vulnerable. Where I like to watch TV and play games on my phone or my device, and kind of zone out and kind of just like go away from the world, right? Again, not feeling really great, but feeling status quo, not feeling horrible, just not feeling as good as I can, as good as I'm capable of. I'm really intrigued. I love this who am I being right now, because there are days where I'm like, I'm the CEO, bitch, right? Like, that is who I am. I am the coach to the coaches. I am a high level consultant, and I really help people in really profound ways shift their life in all these different avenues and programs that I have. And that is a really great space to be in. So it's not a place to beat myself up. And so I want to say that for you. This is not a place to beat yourself up. This is just a space of awareness. And again, breathe into your heart if you have to. Go into a space of neutrality. Nothing is bad. Wherever you are is where you are. It's just awareness. And then from awareness, you get to make a choice. You get to make a conscious decision. Am I going to stay in this energy? Am I going to stay in this lazy housewife persona? Or am I going to move into the bitch that gets shit done? Because she totally gets shit done. And it's so interesting. I had someone a couple of weeks ago introduce me to a room and say what she knew about me was that I was confident. And I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. And I appreciate her saying that. I can be confident. what I will say is that I feel brave because I'm able to confront all of these different pieces of myself with love and with kindness and with compassion. And it took practice and it took work and it took a lot of help to get there. So I just invite you that this is a space that you're allowed to do that in. And going back to this, who am I being right now? It also brings up this idea of, if you've never heard, like Beyonce has this alter ego that she uses when she's on stage of Sasha Fierce. So if it feels powerful for you to not necessarily give that persona of yourself, the person that you want to be, the person who you want to step into, maybe it's someone who really cares about their fitness and really cares about their health, just to stay on the same example, you could call her whatever you want, give her a name. And then what's really powerful about that is you can literally journal, and who is she? And so if you don't know, I legally changed my name, and that was actually one of the things that I did after I legally changed my name. Who is Celeste Hartwell? And I came up with pages upon pages upon pages of who this woman is. And I chose to. I didn't just get to. It was a big decision, and it was a lot of energy that I moved through. But I chose to redefine my own identity as to who I was becoming. And it didn't happen overnight. But to have that identity and to, on a regular basis, even on a every single morning at minimum, if not throughout the day, rereading this and speaking it out loud if you can, if you feel comfortable to do that, is so incredible. Is so incredible, and will shift your life and keep you on this momentum of becoming the person that you desire to be and attaining the things that you want to attain. And so I really feel powerful about that. I know how powerful it has been in my own life. And I know that this is something that I work with clients on, and it is super life-changing, so life-changing. The speaking it, the getting really clear on who am I becoming, incredible. And just throw back to the second episode, the interview with Stephanie Sinclair, where she literally took the sticky note off of her desk, off of her computer, and was like, this is what I have every day. And it's what she looks at, and it's what she remembers every single day as she continues to grow and move into the people that she desires to be, and shifts and changes. And the quote was, be willing to change your identity. And what better time than to do it than at the new year? Right? So that is really powerful. And just for the third tip, I'm actually going to borrow this from Stephanie as well. I was recently in an experience with her where she was like, write a letter, sit down, write a letter. This is your third tip to new year, new you, completely new decade. And that is to write a letter to yourself and date it for today, but when you're done, put it in an envelope and put a reminder on your phone, put the envelope somewhere where you know you'll be able to find it, and read it a year from now. And in that letter, write out the grandest vision of your life, everything that you could ever desire, everything that you could ever dream of. And write it as though you've accomplished it, and then don't read it until next year. Seal it up. And really just give it gratitude and congratulate yourself and celebrate yourself for these things. It's such a powerful exercise. I know I did it, and the ladies in the group were doing it as well. And some people were crying, and they had set intentions, and they had set ritual with candle and incense and prayers, and it's so powerful. Again, there's 3 ways we create. It's visualization, it's speaking things into existence, and it's also writing things out. And so these are super accessible ways that everyone can do. And so I promised a shorter episode, and I so appreciate your time. And what I really want to invite with you right now is I actually have created a weight release meditation. And I talk about this in it, and it is so powerful. It's not something you can just do once. It's something that needs to happen on a regular basis. This is actually not that I'm looking to release weight, but it is an energetic release of other people's energy, because this is what I saw almost 2 years ago, was that a lot of times, I would venture to say all the time, that we have excess weight that we're looking to lose. When we try to lose something, we look for it. We've just been ingrained to do that. So we don't want to lose it. I don't like that terminology. That's why this is a weight release meditation. We want to release it. And what I saw 2 years ago, and I spoke with multiple spiritual teachers and got this confirmed, not that I needed it confirmed, I knew that it was a truth, and everyone I've spoken to has known it as well, is that what happens is we actually take on other people's energy, either knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously. We try to heal people, again, whether we know we're doing it or not. And what happens is that energy then comes into our space, and since it is foreign energy to our bodies, our body is so intelligent that it does not want that energy to infiltrate our own organs and to harm us in this way. So it puts fat around it to protect us. And it really is a protective mechanism in so many ways. And so this is like it's 30 minutes. Again, it took you years to accumulate the weight that you may be wanting to release. So this is not a one-time does meditation. I would encourage you to do it once a day, every day for 6 weeks. Do it when you're falling asleep. Do it when you're waking up in the morning. Being awake for it probably would be more beneficial, because then you can really be consciously doing it. But I believe falling asleep to things is really powerful as well, and I do that often in my own practice. And it has helped me tremendously. So if you're interested in that, I'll have a link below. It's going to be at divinefeminine.com/weight release, where you can purchase it literally for $29. And it is such a it was just a big thank you, because I really believe that this is what happens for people, and this is why we're not releasing other people's energy. And so because of that, unconsciously, we're eating things that are keeping the weight on to really protect our bodies, because the body is super intelligent. And that's why it craves certain things, sugars, sweets, starches, whatever those might be for you. And that's why you're not really releasing the energy that you desire. So it's going to be part of a bigger series for me, which is called Energetic Hygiene. It's something that we're not taught, but if you are here, I guarantee you likely identify as an empath. And so as an empath and an introvert myself, this has been really there's going to be at least 3 parts to the series. And it's going to be really, really powerful. So I invite you to go to that webpage or click the link below this content if that is something that's of interest to you. Otherwise, I believe in you. And I know that whatever you truly desire, like your soul really desires, is here for you. And you're not given a desire without a way to it. And I just saw a great meme this morning that was talking about how when one door shuts, the universe opens 5 others. And I was like, oh, that's so true. And we don't see it. And then we beat ourselves up, and that's not necessary. So I invite you that even if you don't start on the 1st of the year, you've got this. Whatever you desire is here for you. I believe in you. I appreciate you listening and watching this. If you feel like this content has touched you and you want to share it with others and you know that it's going to help them, I invite you to share the love. And I really always set the intention that this blesses you with abundance, with health, with wealth, with prosperity, with cash, with love, with companionship, whatever that is that you're looking for. And I know that it's here for you. So I'm sending you so much love. My name is Celeste Hartwell, and this is the Divine Feminine Leaders podcast and videocast. We are a feminine view of entrepreneurship for women, by women. And to me, self-care is the foundation of success. And so that is why we're talking about this particular subject, New Year, New You. How do you move forward with clarity and confidence? I love you so much. And I bless you so tremendously in the year 2020. I'm excited to see what comes for all of us. And I'd love to hear about how this has shifted for you. Send me an email at celeste@divinefeminine.leaders.com, or you can send me a message on Facebook or Instagram at Celeste Hartwell. Goodbye. Mwah.